The first night I slept in my own house, the silence felt unreal. No arguments echoing down the hallway, no slammed doors, no cold shoulders at dinner, just me, an empty living room, and the soft hum of a place that finally belonged to me. It took years to get there. For most of my marriage, I lived like a guest in my own home. The house was technically ours, but every decision ran through her. The furniture, the finances, even how long I stayed late at work, everything was up for debate. And slowly, quietly, I learned to stay quiet to keep the peace. The cheating didn't start all at once. At least, not that I noticed. It crept in through late nights, work trips, unexplained expenses, and the way she stopped looking at me when I talked. When I finally confronted her, she didn't deny it. She just said, "I was unhappy." Like that explained everything. The divorce was ugly, not loud, just cruel. She kept the house, took most of the furniture, and somehow, even after betraying me, she still made herself the victim to family and friends. Her parents blamed me for not trying hard enough. My own relatives told me to forgive, to be the bigger person, to think about the kids. So I moved into a small apartment and rebuilt quietly. For 2 years, I worked overtime. I saved every spare dollar. I skipped vacations, dinners out, anything that wasn't necessary. I wanted something that was mine, not shared, not negotiated, not held over my head. When I finally signed the papers for my own house, I didn't tell anyone. It wasn't big, but it was solid. Clean lines, a small yard, a garage I could actually park in. I walked through it alone, keys in hand, and felt something I hadn't felt in years: control. Then the calls started. My ex-wife heard about the house through mutual friends. She called first, her tone suddenly warm and nostalgic. "Wow," she said. "I'm proud of you. The kids would love to see it." That was the first red flag. A week later, her parents called. Then my brother. Then my aunt. Everyone suddenly remembered I existed. "You know," my ex said during one call, "things haven't been easy. Rent is high. The kids are cramped. Maybe we could stay with you for a bit, just until we figure things out." I laughed, not out loud, but inside. For years, I'd been told to compromise, to sacrifice, to understand. And now, after betrayal, after being pushed out of my own life, they wanted back in because it was convenient. I said no, calmly, clearly, without excuses. "No," I repeated when she tried again. "This is my house, and I'm not opening that door." She got angry fast, accused me of being selfish, of punishing the kids, of holding grudges. Then the family pressure came. My mother said, "Blood is blood." My brother said, "You're being cold." Her parents said, "You owe her stability." I realized something important during those calls. Not one of them asked how I was. They didn't care about the nights I spent alone, rebuilding myself from nothing. They didn't care about the betrayal, the humiliation, the way my life had been uprooted. They cared about access, about convenience, about using my progress to fix problems they helped create. So I refused. Every time. When my ex showed up unannounced one afternoon, standing on my porch with that familiar mix of entitlement and desperation, I didn't invite her in. She looked around like she was already rearranging the furniture in her head. "It's nice," she said. "You always wanted a place like this." "Yes," I replied. "I did, and now I have it." She crossed her arms. "So you're really going to shut us out?" I met her eyes. "You shut me out first. I just stopped reopening the door." She tried guilt, tears, memories, even flirting. Nothing worked. I closed the door gently. That night I sat on my couch, lights low, and thought about how strange life is. How the same people who once dismissed you suddenly see your value when you no longer need them. The kids and I still have a relationship. I see them on my terms. I support them. I love them. But the chaos, the manipulation, the entitlement, that stays outside. This house isn't just walls and a roof. It's boundaries. It's proof that I survived betrayal without becoming bitter, that I rebuilt without revenge, that I chose peace over people who only wanted me when it benefited them. Some doors don't get reopened, not because you're cruel, but because you finally learned your worth. I bought my own house, and for the first time in my life, I refused to let the wrong people back in.